You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Saturday the 7th of June, 2025. It is 79 days after the spring equinox. It is 13 days before the summer solstice. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 19th day of Prairial, the day of the tilleul, the linden tree. The sun rises today at 5:25 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:55 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:25 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:58 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 9:40 p.m. The length of daytime today is 50 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 88% full at midday. The moon reaches its monthly apogee at 6:42 a.m. today. The full moon will arrive on Wednesday, the 11th of June. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 2:13 a.m., 30 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 9:40 a.m., 1 meter 22. In the afternoon, low tide, 2 p.m., 37 centimeters. In the evening, high tide, 8:33 p.m., 1 meter 52. In our shared realm of plants and animals, eastern white pines, which are not used as street trees but can be seen in parks and backyards, are displaying their new pine cones. Bright green, their scales are still closed tight. Each scale has a slightly brown, papery tip. The cones form at the tips of the long branches, sometimes in great clusters, sometimes singly. Commemorations. Today we celebrate creativity in its many forms. On this day in 1911, Brooks Stevens was born. He was a founding member in 1944 of the Industrial Designers Society of America. He had a major impact on American industrial design in the mid-20th century. He designed the Miller High Life beer logo and convinced the brewery to use clear glass bottles rather than the standard brown bottles of the time. He also created the first wide-mouth peanut butter jar, but most of his work was in the automotive industry. One of his most amusing projects was his redesign of the Wienermobile for Oscar Mayer. Wienermobiles were shaped like a hot dog in a bun. Made of molded fiberglass, they contained a plush sleeping nook behind the driver, tucked into one end of the Frankfurter form cab. He is also remembered for promoting the idea of planned obsolescence. He described this as, quote, instilling in the buyer the desire to own something a little newer, a little better, a little sooner than is necessary, unquote. This concept is today broadly seen as a problematic aspect of our consumer society. On this day in 1958, Prince was born. Or should we say, the artist formerly known as Prince. The genre-smashing singer and performer famously dropped his name in favor of an unpronounceable glyph commonly known as the love symbol. In his music, he drew from the widest range of styles, fusing them into his own new mix of sound. In his fashion, we must mention purple here, he presented a gender-fluid exuberance, and he played many instruments with astounding skill. He died too young, at the age of 57, in 2016. Finally, today we wish a happy birthday to Orhan Pamuk, born this day in 1952. The prolific Turkish novelist is known for books such as My Name is Red, The Black Book, Snow, and The White Castle. Many of his works express his deep affection for Istanbul, his home city. In 2006, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. His novel The Museum of Innocence describes a love affair gone awry. The jilted protagonist collects every object he can to document the life of his beloved. In 2012, Pamuk opened an actual Museum of Innocence in a house in the neighborhood of Çukurcuma. In it, he reproduced the collections described in the novel. Pamuk wrote a manifesto for what museums ought to be in our own time. Here are some highlights. It is imperative that museums become smaller, more individualistic, and cheaper. This is the only way they will ever tell stories on a human scale. We need modest museums that honor the neighborhoods and streets and the homes and shops nearby and turn them into elements of their exhibitions. The future of museums is inside our own homes. We wish a happy birthday to Orhan Pamuk today. Alternate side of the street parking is suspended today in New York City for Eid al-Adha. And that is the Observatory, Saturday the 7th of June, 2025.